I have a little acronym that I like to use when character designing that helps remind me of the things I need to consider, and that's F.A.S.T, FAST. So when I'm skating about the page and coming up with a character, there are a few things that need to stay in the top of my mind. And the first one is the form. Don't get too caught up in the details too fast. You need to remember the overall form. Consider your shapes. Consider the overall presence of the character. Does it fit in the form? Don't lose sight of that form for the sake of getting into details too quickly. Always remember to go back and forth between detail and your form. So if I have my form and I know that I've got my bulky shapes, I've got my just overall language that I want. Now it's time I'm going to start getting into the details. Okay, well now that I'm into the details, what is the next thing I need to be really considering? Well, that's the next part. That's the asymmetry. Remember to keep your characters asymmetrical, even if it's something small. It can be a pouch on one side. It can be a belt that's canted at an angle. It can be a cloak that's draped at a certain diagonal, or it can be a watch on one hand. Whatever it is, too much symmetry is going to strip personality out of your character. So if it's symmetrical, it's going to be uniform, no personality. If it's asymmetrical, it's going to be way more natural, more unique, and you're going to have more personality. So now that I have this idea of, okay, I'm remembering my form and I'm remembering my asymmetry. Those are two very, very key aspects that are going to get me pretty far when it comes to coming up with different ideas and how I'm going to stage and how I'm going to set or pose my characters, even when it comes to asymmetry, just angling at 3/4. But now what? Now's the silhouette. This is the final cap to the form and the asymmetry. You need to have a strong silhouette so your character is always recognizable. Instantly recognizable, even at a distance you can recognize this. So don't just have yourself a generic man shape because they've got like a tailored suit. You want to have something that is always going to indicate that this is a certain character, and that's going to be indicative of your form and indicative of your asymmetry. Those are going to play huge factors in understanding this silhouette. But always remember, if you can black out the whole character and you can still recognize it, that's good silhouetting. So now that I have this idea, I've got these three major elements, and I do believe that the form, the asymmetry, and the silhouette are basically the three biggest elements that you have to have whenever you're creating your character designs, because that's what's going to give you the strongest outcome. Then what? Well, that's time. Design with the scope of the project in your mind. Remember, you have to simplify your details if it's taking too long to draw, because if it's for a comic, you're going to be redrawing it a bunch. So remember that you can't get lost if you're putting too much detail too fast and you're getting really excited about all that detail. But remember, can you draw that over 6 panels a page for 24 pages? Can you draw that over time at the same level of detail? And if not, simplify. It's okay to simplify, but simplify your design. So thanks for watching. I know it was a little bit of a different video, but this is just one of those things about character design that I really love and I love to talk to my students about. Go check out my school, sign up. I'd love to see your character designs over there so we can talk about all of these things in this fast drawing. And now, go practice and draw fast. Thanks, everybody.